You know, I think it's a hopeful sign for us to be optimistic, but never to be complacent. Because complacency is the enemy of accomplishment, and we have so much yet to accomplish. I heard an elder say to me once, they said, you know, we've been in the house so long that we have forgot what the storm feels like we have arrived somewhere. And I've come by today to let you know that we have not yet arrived.
So with this moment in time that you've been given right now, I need you to be aware of the warrior that was summoned as we heard the last heartbeat of George Floyd. I need you to be aware of the call from the cloud of witnesses that stood from the heavenly host that called you by name and said, now it's time for war. I need you to understand that you've been here before. And unfortunately, George Floyd was not the last name that we now have to fight for. Unfortunately, black folks, if you understand systems, this thing is layered. We had 15 murders. I have to say 15 shooters the other day. It's layered systems. Same system, different uniforms. We've been here before.
We've taken a preventative standpoint with our mission. Our mission is to prevent another hashtag. We don't want another hashtag. We don't want another funeral. And we've sat across the table from lawmakers who have tried to shoot down everything that we have tried to do, calling it radical. No, what's radical is the Constitution that claimed that my ancestors were 3/5 of a person. That's radical. What's radical is what happened to Botham John in his own apartment, sitting on his couch eating ice cream. That's radical. What's radical is a white man with his knee on the back of George Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes. That's radical. What's radical is what happened to Tatiana Jefferson in Fort Worth, Texas, when she was playing video games with her nephew and bullets came into her window, killing her on contact. That is radical. What is radical is what happened to Eric Garner when he repeatedly said, I cannot breathe, and you continue to press on, ending in his murder. That is radical. What happened to Ronald Green in Monroe, Louisiana, when state troopers decided to have a modern day lynching with my black brother with no remorse and covering it up? That is radical. So don't talk to me about me saying I want to live is radical. Don't talk to me about my approach to this fight being radical, because I want to put in place preventative measures.
George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say it loud! George Floyd! Say it proud! George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd!
And for the black women in this audience, the black mothers, you don't need to know that it was filmed. You don't need to see the evidence. As black people, we don't need to see the evidence. We know what happened. We know how we are treated. We know how we are discarded. They have different weapons, but they use them all the same. Police have guns. Our mayor has press conferences to pacify you. Police have qualified immunity. Our governor has the power to turn Brooklyn Center into a modern-day sundown town. I will not fall for the okie doke. These men will show up to your black son's funeral, but they will not be at the action to prevent it.
Police officers are going over to Israel, learning from the Israeli Defense Forces the same tactic, the knee on the neck tactic that killed George Floyd. The same crowd control is what they call it, the coded language of crowd control that turned our Minneapolis streets into a military zone. In the first 4 months of 2021, more than 60 black people have been killed by the police. Just these last couple of weeks, in 11 days, Israel bombed and killed more than 248 Palestinians, wiping out 4 generations of a Palestinian family with 1 missile.
Something changed here in Minneapolis, May 25th, 2020, that galvanized people all across America. But not only did it galvanize people all across America, it galvanized people all across the world to say that we're better than this. We're better than this, America. We have to have a more just America, a better America. What is it about a black man running away from the police that is the most dangerous thing in America? That's what we have to answer, because we know that it's not lack of training, it's not lack of professionalism. The police can de-escalate just fine when they want. We saw that, Mr. Governor and Senator, on January 6, 2021, when the white nationalists was attacking the United States Capitol. They de-escalated just fine. So the issue ain't a lack of training, ain't a lack of professionalism. The issue is implicit bias. The issue is racism. The issue is discrimination. Because we know that they wouldn't have did what they did to Dante Wright had that been a young white boy. They would not even have pulled their taser.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No police violence anymore!
No police violence anymore. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Justice for our stolen lives!
Justice for our stolen lives.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What's his name?
Justin Titan.
Say his name!
Justin Titan.
Cordell Handy, say his name!
Cordell Handy.
What's his name?
Cordell Handy.
Say his name!
Cordell Handy.
What's his name?
Cordell Handy.
Convicting Chauvin is not enough. We need federal legislation. George Floyd should not go down in history as just someone with a knee on his neck. George Floyd should go down as history that broke the neck of police racism, police brutality, and police illegality. That's how we gonna put George's name in history. You wouldn't hear us about Oscar Grant. You wouldn't hear us about Eric Gardner. You wouldn't hear us about Jacob Blake. You wouldn't hear us about Philando Castile right here in Minneapolis. Well, you kept on doing it, but you gonna hear us now, because we are not gonna let you hear anything else.
I didn't start this foundation to be seen. I started this foundation because I want to make sure I endure the things that my brother can no longer do, that he wanted to do while he was here. Any way I can do anything for any family. And when we say we have justice for George, we also have gotten justice for families that nobody has seen behind the curtains. Cases that was swept under the rug. My brother has opened all the cases. all the cases that nobody has seen or heard about.
These are racially motivated murders. It doesn't matter if you had on a police uniform, regular clothes, or a Ku Klux Klan outfit. A racially motivated murder is a racially motivated murder. And like Al Sharpton said, this is not political. People in the political seats versus in the police versus the community. This is not white versus black. This is right versus wrong. Right versus wrong. And what has happened to our people is wrong. To the people that are sitting in the political seats, do you see the pain that they have caused and inflicted on our people? And if you're not for the people, you're for the institution that created
1 year ago, I said, Black Minnesota, we are done dying, and white Minnesota, you are done hiding. Your white Wakanda has been discovered, and it's time for Black people's humanity to be recognized. Amen? Amen. And while we've seen some progress, we have to recognize that there is so much change that has to happen. And white supremacy still reigns supreme in this state. So don't ever let them get you confused with one conviction. Don't ever let them get you confused with a little bit of justice for our brother George Floyd, because had they listened to Black women years ago, he wouldn't be alive today. George Floyd would be alive today. And who did he cry out for? His mother, a Black woman. And who recorded the video? A Black woman, Darnella Frazier. So it's time to start listening to Black women. It's time to start respecting Black women. It's time to start elevating Black women. And that's just that on that.
When I say, Governor Walz, where are you? When I say, Senator Klobuchar, where are you? When I say, Mayor Floyd, where are you? When I say, Melvin Carter, where are you? I am not just talking about where are you in the Senate, in the House, where do you sit? No, I mean, where are you when the people are crying out?
There's absolutely no reason why on May 25th, 2020, a Black man had to be lynched in the city of Minneapolis, a place that prides itself on being progressive, an oasis of whiteness. It's absolutely unacceptable. It should not have taken all of that, because we went to those elected officials time and time and time and time and time again. We shut down freeways to get their attention. We shut down their offices to get their attention. And in the midst of a pandemic, we pulled up to their houses to get their attention. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. George Floyd should still be alive. Dante Wright should still be alive. Jamar Clark should still be alive. Terrence Franklin should still be alive. Travis Jordan should still be alive. Philando Castile should still be alive. Cornell Handy should still be alive. Marcus Golden should still be alive. It's not acceptable for us to come together when Black blood is spilled. Stop spilling Black blood.
We must understand that this race that we're on, it is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who endures to the end. And so I want to say to everyone listening in this place, that when the family feels tired, to stand beside them, to carry them through, to help them continue to go forward. I want to say to each of you that as this family is going forward, you must walk alongside of them. You must encourage them. You must stay in the fight with them.
And just like you all are out here today, we need you. We need you at election time. We need you to keep being in the streets. We need you to write letters, to make phone calls. Don't just go home and sit on your couch and pretend this is another news story.